Well, it pulls really well.
That's pretty good trust right there.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of an unusual thing because I was a modified guy my whole life, and now I just appreciate seeing one that hasn't been messed with yet.
Right, yeah.
And want to hide it from anybody because it's so special that, you know, this is how it came off the factory right here, you know, and I love that.
Yeah, it goes great. All kinds of power. Welcome to the episode of Jay Leno's Garage. The car we're featuring today, 1967 Jaguar XKE. This is the car my car is supposed to be. I have a white one, a 63. It's pretty original, but it leaks oil. David Lane this is his car. He owned Fast Lane Rod Shop.
Yes.
Fast Lane Rod Shop in Iowa, quite famous in that part of the world. And I've met people over the years who've done his cars. And as you can see, he does immaculate work. He took an XKE. This is exactly what I would do, or hope to do sometime. Go through it and just fix every little thing. It's not heavily modified. There's no small block Chevy in here or a 5-speed. It's all Jaguar, but it's just done the way, well, the way the factory should have done it. It's just a beautiful car. He'll go into the details with us. David, come on in. David Lane, sure. Here we go. Hey, beautiful job. This is just great. And
thank you.
It's so funny, you're known for building hot rods, so is this a big departure for you to go into sort of an exotic?
Exactly. It was completely the opposite of what I've been doing for the last 20 years. But really a fun challenge, and like I said, it was just completely different.
Yeah, it is, because when you work on English cars, you realize we're two countries separated by the same language. Everything is different. You know, when I got my first English car as a kid, I'd read the English magazines and say, I'll get a good set of spanners. Spanners? What? I would go down to the Craftsman, Sears, you know, Craftsman 2. You got spanners? No, I don't know what those are. I don't, what are you talking about? Wash the parts in paraffin. What? So I'm melting candles. How does this clean anything? You know, it just, everything meant something else. It was just a fun time. But I'm just so impressed. Is this a Jaguar color?
Yes, it is. Opalescent Silver Blue and dark blue interior is pretty much, and so that's why it's kind of based on a restoration of doing the car, and I wanted to go with the accurate colors that the car was.
Yeah, because I have a Jag we found across the street that was parked in the mid-60s and just left there. And opalescent was the term they used. Mine was opalescent sand.
Yeah.
So opalescent seemed to be a popular phrase for the English cars. 67 was the very last of the first Series 1, wasn't it?
Exactly.
And this has a 4.2 liter motor. Mine has a 3.8. This is probably the best because by this end of the first series, I think that's the Jag everybody wants. Later when they made it a 2+2, I didn't like that. And it just rocker switches because of safety. And it just had just a lot of things that I thought detracted from the car. But it is one of the few automobiles that I think the coupe is sexier than the convertible, especially when you see how this rear door opens. It's fantastic, fantastic. Well, where should we start? Should we look under the hood?
If you notice the gas tank door on the back fender,
right
they had a little finger pull on them. And not that that was a big deal, but when you looked at the side of the car, it was like, what is that little bump right there?
Okay.
And so flatten that out. I took the bumpers, and if you remember on these cars, excuse me, there was like a big rubber kind of a gasket or a filler piece that was between the bumper. And what I did is I welded these bumpers up so that I could gap them to the body and they would fit a lot nicer without that rubber.
Yeah.
So they fit nice.
Just don't bump anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then of course these were two-piece here, and then there was an upright. And I took the uprights out and then welded this together, metal filed it. And then on the bottom side there was access ports for the bolts to tie it to, and I welded all them shut. So if you look from underneath, it's all nice and clean and body fit also.
And beautiful glass covers here.
Yeah, that's what's so nice about the Series 1. Like you were saying, when you go to the Series 2, then they took away the covered headlights, took away the neat
Right.
switches. The regulations came in, and the what was designed started to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you were talking about the book and trying to read the different, I had to do the same thing. Would you believe this is called the scuttle? Okay, now you know how long it took me to figure out the cowl is a scuttle now.
Right, yeah, that's funny.
And so every time I started going through this book, because I mean basically it was a running, driving car, I had to take it completely, every nut and bolt. As you're doing that, you're trying to go through the manual, making sure that you're doing things right. And I'm going back to Google and trying to figure out what are they talking about. It's the same thing that you were saying. The whole car was filled with that.
And you have a combination of British thread and Wentworth thread and even metric in certain cases.
Well, what I'd found in this car at least, and being it's a later '67, that the majority of the bolts in the car were like 5/16 fine, which is not super unusual, but kind of unusual
American
to have a car full of that. Fine, yeah. And I really didn't run into the Wentworth thing. I think there was a few bolts, and I can't remember what they were for, if they were tied to the engine, but the majority of the car was all standard sizes.
Well, that's interesting.
And I was just sure I was going to run into this. Now we're dealing with metric and a mess of everything.
How'd you make out with rubber for around headlight seals and that stuff?
Yeah.
Did you get that from England, or did you have to cut your own? How did it work?
No, I found, SNG was a good source. They really carry a lot of parts. But when it comes to rubber and stuff, there's a guy out of Canada that supposedly makes the best rubber. And I think he worked for them at some point, so he knew the original patterns, the original diagrams, and then he had a really good way of making a really soft rubber. So I bought a bunch of S&G stuff, and then as I'm putting this car together, I found that guy, and then I realized, oh, okay, I can get better hood seals and better, that kind of thing. And so, and then some parts came from England.
Is this original glass or new windshield?
It's not. It's not. That's new glass.
Oh no, that's great. I mean, how many miles are on this one?
Well, I just finished at the end of October, and I've been doing some driving, but I went to the Grand National Roadster Show, so I wanted to try to keep the car fairly fresh for that. So right now I think I got about 400.
No, but when you got it, yeah, was it? I mean, was it worn out or was it all right?
It was time.
Yeah.
It was. I bought the car and bring a trailer, and as I was looking for one, and like your favorite cars are kind of like the preservation cars.
Right.
That's what I was honestly looking for, like a one owner. You could just take care of the car, pamper it, and enjoy it. And as time went on, not only was I not finding that car, but the prices in October, in 2021 and 2020, they were climbing. So as I'm watching the prices climb, they're getting a little farther out of reach, and then I panicked, bought a car, and I thought, okay, I'll just redo it. It's better than not getting one at all.
Well, so many of them got sold for $800, $900. I've told this story before. My friend Greg, when we were in high school, he bought a convertible. It was like all the money he had, and it was just nothing but problems. And he thought, I'm going to burn it for the insurance money. So we drive out to Pomps Pond, was the pond near Andover, Massachusetts. He puts gas in, he throws a match to it, it goes, he stands back just as the cops come down. The cops go, Greg, what are you doing? What happened? You're not going to try and get your money for that, are you? No, I just got fed up with it. All right, well, just make sure, have somebody tow it out of you again. All right. Yeah, just burned out. The car was nothing but a head. Cost the money, and then at the end he thought, well, I'll get my $800 back, and then he burned it up. And,
it wouldn't even burn good.
And that's when we come from a small town, the cops know everybody, because you set your car on fire, you're going to get arrested. But Greg, what are you doing? You're not going to try and cash it. No, of course not.
Yeah,
it's stupid. Yeah. Are these the stock wheels, or did you do a little wider wheel?
The wheels and tires are basically the Jaguar recommended racing setup. So what they are is they're if you notice, the lacing are different front to rear.
Yeah.
And they're 5.5s in the rear, and they're 5 inches wide in the front, so a little wider in the rear.
Right.
And then these are Dunlop racing tires, the ones that you would actually go racing with back then.
Right.
And they're a little less than ideal. They'll flat spot sitting a little bit.
Yeah.
But But the look is exactly, you know, the painted wire. I was trying to build a car that was, you know, a nice looking car, but had a little bit of either racing or road race or something, a light tone of that too.
No, it looks great. It's exactly what I love. You know, those are 16s, and they flat spot like, I thought, did I run over a brick or something? I mean, it was like there was a cam in it. Yep. You had to go out and really take it out to 70, 80 miles an hour for maybe 25 minutes to get some heat back in them. You know?
Get some heat and then you start running.
Right. And of course the 3 wipers, always very sexy. You know, when you're a kid, 3 wipers, what does that mean? I don't know. It's something, it just seemed cool. In the same way Corvette had the radio this way instead of this way. Remember, it was up and down. So, so when you're 13, yeah, this is the car that really made the impression on me. You know, Enzo Ferrari called it the most beautiful car in the world. Mm-hmm. And it's really true. It's just that they were so cheap.
Yep.
You know, they built so many of them, and people who bought them couldn't afford to fix them, so they all got just driven into the ground. Yep. And it's a shame. And now when you see them, they're $200,000. You know, it's pretty crazy.
It's gotten crazy. And what's really, to me, what's so unusual is, you know, they're basically the same car, 61 through 67.
Right.
Well, like I have a 63 Galaxy. Okay, when you park that next to this, and you think they both could have been built in 63.
Right.
The Galaxy was built at Ford, and this was built in Mars. I mean, you know, it's just, they're so, and you got to think they had, you know, torsion bar front end, independent rear, 4-wheel disc brakes. They were a heck of a car. Now, and kind of for the money. You know, they weren't the high-end car that they were kind of compared to.
The Aston Martin was like twice the price. And this seemed like you got more car for your money. That was always Jaguar's thing. It was great value for the money. You got twin overhead cam in 1948. Yeah. This engine went all the way through to the 2010, you know, something like that. It's like the small box Chevy of England. Yeah, just fascinating. Boy, it just looks great. And the interior, I like all the detail work.
Well, thanks. That's where things changed, is I wanted to do a restoration, but when I looked at the interior of the cars, they didn't seem to match what the exterior, the futuristic racing look.
Right.
And so, you know, I wanted to do some things that would kind of like if the designers weren't held back by the accounting department.
Right.
And they got to do what they wanted to do. And so there's, you know, there are a lot of small things. I just took the gauges, I put a chrome bezels on them. I put a dome glass on them instead.
Yeah.
And the dash face would be normally all material covered, vinyl covered. And so I took and kind of cleaned them up and then painted them. The whole center console is basically the lower half, that's all just handmade. I made all that and then put the little different armrest in it.
Now, did this have the aluminum plate all the same as?
This one didn't. This would have just been all material
by
covered.
60, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The aluminum plate, those look so good.
Yeah, and you have the, what are those two, the stopwatches? What brand?
Yeah, you know, when I was looking at, you know, because there again, I'm learning about a Jaguar really fast when I'm getting ready to build this car then, and I noticed a couple of them had that, and I went back and looked, and they were using them like in rally racing and stuff. So I thought, what a perfect, because that was kind of the feel I wanted you to have when you saw the car.
And what was the name of the gauges? What kind
Hure?
Yeah, Hure, yeah, that's right. Well, it's now Tag Hure, but
yes.
it was Hure back then.
Exactly.
Yeah, and of course, the fold-down rear here, which is just great. Yeah.
They're so neat inside. And then I made the sill plates and the armrests. The armrests are basically the same shape as what the factory one would have been.
Right.
But I took and kind of made some different. Actually, they're like 62 Corvette ends, and I put a bunch of them together. We printed a plastic armrest.
And beautiful kick panels there on the.
Thanks.
Right here. Were these like this from the factory? It didn't cover the whole.
Vinyl.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that looks great.
And that was the idea. I thought I'd do something like that, and it just make it a little more richer.
And these armrests there, very nice. I'm glad you didn't put electric windows in it. Exactly, yeah.
It's still, you know, it's still the '67 Jaguar.
Yeah. Very nice. Can we open up the hood?
Sure.
Let's see. I can get embarrassed how awful mine looks. Ooh. Ah.
Nice and easy there, because it will touch. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Very nice. You got the gold head.
Yes.
Right.
And that's questionable if that's supposed to be gold or silver. I'm not quite, I always assumed the 67s were silver,
Yeah.
but the place that redid the motor for me, it's called Vintage Jaguar, they're in Idaho, in Blackfoot, Idaho, and they've been doing it forever. They had insisted that the head should be gold, so good enough. And it's basically a stock engine. I wanted reliability out of it. I wanted to,
Right.
I plan on driving the car a lot. It does have an aluminum radiator. It's got a kind of an uprated fan. And to this point, it doesn't run hot. It's really a pleasure in that
You know,
aspect.
mine still has, the one I pulled out, still has a two-bladed fan, and it runs very cool.
Does it really?
Yeah, it just doesn't work. And is that the stock alternator? Or
Yes.
is it alternator or generator?
Alternator.
It was an alternator in '67. Yeah, mine was a generator. Yeah. And beautiful job porcelain on the headers there. Very nice.
Yeah, those are pretty.
And you got, these are all the pieces people forget, the phenolic material here. Stock carburetors.
So
You
basically,
got the Barbasol in the windshield washer.
and this is, you know, on a 67, this was a plastic tank.
Right.
But the glass ones are so much neater looking.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
you
that was
got to
like
go with the glass.
65,
You got to
so-
go with the glass.
Yeah.
You gotta go with the glass.
And that you try to polish up a few things, but really try to keep it as close to original as possible.
And all this stuff was so confusing. Okay, this is negative Earth. But it was positive Earth when you got it?
I think no, but I think the earlier ones were.
Yeah,
I
they were
think-
positive Earth, which was like, what? That didn't make any sense when you grew up on Fords and Chevys. Now you said you have, what, a 63 Galaxy?
Yes.
And what motor do you have in that?
Well, that's got it's got a 427.
Oh, very nice.
Robert Pond built that for
Oh,
me.
okay,
It's got
yeah.
640 horse and 600 foot-pounds of torque.
Those are great, yeah.
It hustles.
Just a big, heavy tank, isn't it?
Yeah,
Hilarious.
but boy, it's a fun car.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Well, that's my 7 liters, sort of the same
I saw
thing.
that.
Yeah, very cool. Very nice. Yeah, the only thing I replaced on mine is the tank, the radiator overflow tank rusted, had a hole in it because the guy parked it with fluid in it, you know. But boy, beautifully done. Look at that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I put new engine frames in it. Really tried to basically build the thing for another, you know, tons of miles.
And these were built never to be taken apart. To replace the rear main seal, you got to pull the whole engine out and disassemble it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal.
You know, I have a Vincent Black Shadow motorcycle. It says for the owner, the 1,000 miles, take engine out, disassemble, check everything, reassemble. It's just 3 steps. Take it out, disassemble it, check everything, and reassemble. An hour later. It's
Like
just
an
so
afternoon.
funny. Yeah. Boy, it's just a beautiful job.
Well, thank you.
Have you taken it to Jaguar meets?
You know, we did. When I first got it done, there's one in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And went up. And it was really pretty cool. I was a little nervous because there again, I'd kind of modified a little bit.
Yeah.
And didn't know how that was going to go. But there was roughly, I think it was 40 some odd E-types there.
Yeah.
And it was really neat to see that in a parking lot. It's just an unusual sight.
Yeah, yeah. And this really was the performance car with the Corvette and even the music, plenty of Stingrays and XKEs, and just funny. It's all part of the culture.
Well, I had seen one when I was growing up in Texas, and there was one on my way to school, and I'd walk to school, and I think it was 6th grade, and it was in a rundown hotel parking lot. Kind of at the end, you could tell deserted, left it, and really a rundown, beat-up car, but you couldn't help but notice that is so different. And I was a Camaro guy and that kind of thing, and I liked muscle cars, but that caught my eye.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, when I was a kid, I've told the story. I was 9, and I walked up a hill, and a guy I thought was an old man had a XK120, let me sit in it. Well, that was the first car I bought when I made some money, an XK. I had to get a XK120, And it's so funny, and I contacted the guy like 40 years later. Like when I was 9, I thought he was like 50. He's 21.
Oh, you're kidding.
When you're a kid, you think everybody. It just made me laugh. I said, "How old are you?" He goes, "I'm 71." This is like 10 years ago. What? You're only like 9 years older than I am. I thought you're an old man. It's very funny. Very cool. Now, to me, the sexiest thing. Let's put this down.
Okay.
Right. I'll let you do it. There you go.
Sure, it just.
Do you not have a? You have the latch here.
I took the latch.
Oh, you took the latch.
Yeah,
oh,
it's like a
okay.
safety latch.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at designing something a little bit different, because they're kind of clumsy. Whenever you go to open it, you got to try to reach in there.
Put your finger in there. Yeah, yeah.
And push it. Easiest if you push this corner. Push this down just a little bit.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, there we go.
There.
And turn it to the right. Yeah, this is the greatest thing, this here.
There we go. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's just the coolest thing, isn't it? Do you have the toolkit?
I don't have it with me.
Yeah.
It's at home. I forgot to put it in.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Oh, nicely done, yeah.
Sid Shavers. Do you know him?
No, I don't.
You know Roy Brizio.
Yes, Roy Brizio, yeah.
Sid does all of Roy's cars, his interiors, and he did this interior for me. He does such nice work.
Beautiful job.
Yeah, he, you know, they didn't fit all that well in these cars. The interiors didn't, and so there's a lot of tweaking and stuff you got to do to make them, you know, to fit and finish like that.
Yeah, the factory was, you know, a guy I knew, his father bought a Jag sedan in the 50s. He would press the brake, it would go to the floor, and he'd press it again, and it'd be fine. But he had to hit the brake twice because it would always, you know. So he took it back to the dealer. Oh, yeah, I'll take care of it. Comes back a week later. There's a little red light on the dash. He presses the brake, and the light comes on. The guy goes, yeah, when the light comes on, just hit the brake again. They didn't fix it. They just put a red light until you hit it. It really made me laugh. I said, okay, there you go. Just beautiful. Stock exhaust system?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. And you got the E-type license plate.
Yes.
Well, how'd you get, it seemed like somebody would have grabbed that.
Well, yeah, that one's questionable. That's kind of on there as a show plate, more or less.
Oh, I see, okay.
And then we did take and fill, same thing with the bumpers here.
Yes, beautiful.
Aaron Jerger did that for me. Made these end caps, and we welded them on and took the uprights out of there too.
How long did it take you to do this? A year?
Well, no, it was just about a 3-year deal.
Oh wow!
See,
okay.
the difference was back in the day, you know, I did all the work myself on every car, and I had complete control. Well, when you know, like I didn't do the body and paint, so when you start sending things out, then you're kind of at the mercy of time frames are a little bit different than if you're doing it yourself. So,
I know there's nothing more frightening. I've had this happen to people. They send a car to a restoration shop. The guy goes bankrupt, and they can't get the car out.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to get sold at auction, or I don't know how that. Well, you think it's yours, you own it, but you send it to the guy. You don't have, you know.
It's not an unusual story.
Yeah, no, it's a frightening one. Yeah. Very cool.
And another one thing I didn't point out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this little emblem right here.
Where?
This little emblem I made a glove box door, and we had printed that emblem. It says E-type. We printed it out of stainless.
Let me see.
Corey Talbert did that for me. Such a talented kid. And
nice.
tried to make that. There again, if you didn't know any better, you'd think that was just a factory emblem.
Yeah,
you know?
I would. I'm thinking, yeah.
And that was kind of the goal of that.
And there was a glove box there, correct?
Well, that actually was like a cubby hole.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They didn't have a door on it.
Later on, they made doors for them.
Right.
But I went ahead and made that because I just felt like it finished off that dash a little better.
And no air conditioning, right?
Nope.
And you're in Arizona.
Yep. I probably won't drive it a lot coming June, July, August.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But the rest of the year, whatever, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Well, can we take it for a ride?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, this is exciting. This is what my car should be. How embarrassed am I? Try to hit that kick panel. There we go. Oh, I like the pedals.
Yeah. No, I made the wheel. You know, the wheel comes in and out.
Right.
And
you tighten it right here.
You tighten it up right there. Yeah. And I also made it drop, but if you don't need it to drop, you don't have to.
That's fine. Ooh, sounds good.
I'll turn that knob. Just to show you that.
It's a great hood to look down.
Isn't it though? Like driving a torpedo. So all these people around here probably know you, and they know that whenever they see a cool car, they know you're probably got something to do with it.
Boy, it certainly feels faster than stock. You didn't up the compression ratio or anything?
No, it was freshly built. The guy that did it, you know, that Jaguar there in Idaho. They've been doing them a long time, but I thought it seemed to run really well. You know, it pulled good. I've never run it real hard. I've just, you know, I always figured that my Galaxy's pretty fast, so that was my fast car, you know. But it pulls good. It runs good. There's a nice little S-turn that leads to our neighborhood, and boy, you pitch it in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, then when you see
Iowa, not a lot of curves. That's where you went to Galaxy.
But I could.
Like 67, it was a synchro first, wasn't it?
Wasn't that what?
A synchro in first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earlier ones, the Boss box, I guess.
Right.
The Boss.
Right.
It was. You had to really play with it. Yeah, because I forget. You know, we're into the 25s now. You know, and I still look at, you know, 1980 is just not that long ago.
And this car is pretty much the halfway point from the invention of the automobile, you know. 50 years earlier is 1920, and 50 years later is now. So it's just about right. Yeah, I like that 307 rear end.
It is nice. You don't feel the difference. It's not like you're losing. They get so much torque. You know, you don't worry about that lower end, but it sure helps going down the highway and that kind of thing. It's effortless.
God, I'm in second gear. It's so long-legged with that rear end.
Yeah.
You know, I love this era because I can enjoy watching attack sweep across. You know, you drive like the P1 McLaren and you're in prison. What happened? What'd I do? You know, you're going 140.
What did I do?
Yeah, I don't realize, you know, it's like crazy. Yeah.
And that's true though. It's just the RPMs are just right there.
Yeah. I mean, the golden age is really from 76 on back because you can work on it. They're easy to, you know, fixing up a Taurus from the late 90s. Impossible. You don't have you can't tell if a relay is it good or not. The only way you can do is put it in the car and see if it's any, you know. When I was a kid, these always felt spindly to me, you know. You felt like you're going to break the wheel if you hit the brakes, you know. You're going to crack it.
Yeah, I had to get used to that. When you get out, you can't hang onto the wheel, and it's like, you know, I'm always making sure I grab something else because they're so. I'm sure you can bend them pretty easily. They look so pretty, but not real durable, or not real heavy duty.
When I was a kid, I didn't really appreciate these cars because you're just horsepower crazy. You know, you're all about burnouts and doing donuts, and these things were way too delicate for that.
Yeah, I never figured out spin the tires or nothing like that. It's not that kind of car.
Yeah. But it's wonderful to drive.
Yes.
And it's so cozy in here. Especially in wintertime, you had a heater that worked, which was, you know. So are you still working, or are you retired now?
Just retired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a 7-day a week. You know, I worked lots of hours every day, all the time.
Oh, I know.
You know?
Yeah. It's tough, and people really don't appreciate how much work goes into build something. I mean, I always used to say, it's not totally true, but if you're making money doing this, you're doing it wrong. You know, because you never can be compensated for your time. You know, people say, oh, fix a radio, it'll take about an hour. Well, no, it took 6 hours because we couldn't figure out, you know, so many times. It's like flat rate manuals. Those are always wrong, you know. A shop says, oh, it should be 2 hours to change a water pump. Yeah, unless the bolts are frozen and you got to use heat, then you snap the head off it, and now you got to drill it, you know.
Oh, exactly. So that's where I was so fortunate. I just had the best I call them customer, and they were friends, you know, but
Yeah, yeah.
customers that I was so blessed with that. I never had as much as even a tense word with them. Everybody,
Yeah, well, that's great.
you know, Jay, it was unreal.
Yeah, that's terrific.
The people I built cars for were just,
Well, you know, as long as you deal with car people, it's great. But you get people that they watch these TV shows where people build a car in a weekend. Well, how long did it take? About a month? No, maybe about a year. A year? Yeah. And now you're a crook, and you know, it's just.
yep. Yeah, I'm not sure if the TV shows were good or bad. I think it was a little of both. You know,
Yeah, well, most of the shows are not really, you know, you can't do it. And there's always fine tuning and, you know, stuff like that.
And I was fortunate that the people I built cars for, they were all self-made.
Right.
They came from nothing, and they worked really hard for what they had.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were just ultra rich, but obviously they could afford to do this.
Right.
And I think they appreciated that they saw how hard I was working.
Yeah.
And therefore, you know, it was all good. And that makes everything, because to me,
Well, that's all
we got
part
to be
of
a
it,
team,
you know.
Yeah.
When I did the Tonight Show, I always wanted to be the first one in and the last one to leave. And this way, nobody grudges you how much money you're making, as long as you're working harder than they are. You know. They go,
Exactly.
"Oh, okay."
And you did, because you were doing a lot of comedy during the Tonight Show, weren't
Oh
you?
yeah, still am. This is the same motor that's in my tank. You know that big
Oh,
tank?
is it?
Yeah. Did you rebuild the original shocks, or did you put?
They're aftermarket, but they're supposed to be of the original
Right.
spec and that kind of thing. No, but the torsion bars are a little bit stiffer, which you can feel, but it's all adjustable.
Right.
You know, where they weren't before. You know, they always adjusted before. You just move a notch or whatever, and
Yeah.
now you can play with the ride height and that kind of thing a little bit.
Is that a modern clock innards in there?
Yes. Had it redone. There's a guy that does Jag clocks, I think in like New Jersey or something.
Is it a battery in there?
It's electric. I couldn't believe that I was building hot rods, and they were all cars. I never did nothing I didn't want to do, you know.
Yeah.
And so they were all kind of my cars, you know. And all my customers always call them my car too. And
Did you ever have a regular job?
you know, I did. For 12 years, I worked for the federal government. Actually, I worked for the Department of Army. And
For the who?
For the Department of Army.
Oh yeah.
And I was civilian, but I designed computer networks back then.
Oh wow.
I've got a master's degree in information systems.
Cool.
You know, and after 12 years, I had been doing this nights and weekends, and decided that I need to either do one or the other, and took the dive. So yeah, then I'll never forget that the first Sunday night that I was on my own to get ready for Monday morning, and my knee was twitching because I couldn't wait to get to work. And I thought I've never felt that way on a Sunday night.
Yeah, that's funny.
Really enjoyable, really fulfilling. Do something that you have a passion for. You know that.
How many cars you build over the 20 years you're doing it? 20 years, is that about right?
I had 13 cars.
Oh, okay.
And you know, they varied from 1 year, and then of course some of them were several, and that's all I did is one car at a time, start to finish.
Right.
I never did small jobs, so people were willing to wait because I could tell them exactly. I couldn't tell them how long it was going to take, but they knew what I was doing between
yeah.
this car and the next, you know, and started it with 2 frame rails and would build everything up from there.
What was your most difficult build?
Let's see, I did a 32 Vicky for Phil and Deb Becker. That was, they had the car since the early 70s. It was a family heirloom type thing, and they wanted to redo it, and they wanted to take
stock?
It was no, he had hot rodded it in the 70s.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And we went through that, and that was a very very detailed car. Really, you know, it was a grade 8 car in Detroit, and it was a handful, but a lot of fun.
You ever get to the point where you look at a 57 Chevy and you go, oh, I hope it has a 265 with the 2-barrel and the 3-speed on the shit. Because, you know, they were just old cars, and then they're like, oh, original, unrestored.
Yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen is as once I retired, I found myself liking original cars. You know, it's kind of an unusual thing because I was a modified guy my whole life, and now I just appreciate seeing one that hasn't been messed with yet.
Right, yeah.
And want to hide it from anybody because it's so special that,
It's funny.
you know, this is how it came off the factory right here. You know, and I love that.
Well, it pulls really well.
That's pretty good trust right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 307. That was a optional ratio, right? Yeah.
I think it
From
was.
the factory. Yeah.
But from what I've read, it wasn't offered to U.S. It was offered in other areas of the world, and I don't know why that was. But from what I've read, that you couldn't get it in the United States.
That's interesting.
And I don't know if they ever eventually did that, but it is the perfect ratio.
Yeah.
We have a guy in the Scottsdale area, and so I'd ask him about a few things, and that was one of the first things he told me. Is you want to put a, he told me where to go, and you could get him to put a 307 in it.
Yeah.
So glad.
I think somebody makes a 5-speed that fits in here now. Yeah, it goes great. All kinds of power. Well, Dave, you put me to shame. I got to get to work on my Jag now. It won't be as good as this, but I see some little improvements you've made I'd like to make, and yeah, thanks for doing it right. You know,
Thank you.
I mean, so many guys are disappointed by bad builds and rip-off artists, so it's nice to meet someone like yourself that always has satisfied customers and builds them right the first time. So.
Well, thank you, Jay.
And they can check your website, right? Put it up there again for them. What is it?
FastlaneRodShop.com.
FastlaneRodShop.com. So there you go. And now you're in Phoenix, right?
Now I'm in Phoenix.
So you'll see this thing at the car shows in Phoenix. So thanks for watching. I hope that this is the kind of resto mod I like. It's just sort of built right the second time. Put it that way. That's what I call it. All right, see you guys next week. Thanks for checking it out.